The kingdom of Asmar was once vibrant, a place where the sun shone brightly and the fields were lush and green. The people thrived and the air was filled with the sounds of laughter and joy. But now it was trapped in an unending winter, a stark contrast to its former glory. An eternal winter gripped the land, casting a cold, unyielding shadow over everything. Snow covered every inch of the kingdom, blanketing the once fertile fields and vibrant forests. The trees stood bare, their branches weighed down by the heavy snow, and the villages were almost buried under the relentless snowfall. The people of Asmar were strong and resilient. They struggled to survive in this harsh, frozen world, but they never gave up. They held on to hope, believing that one day the sun would return and the kingdom would be restored to its former beauty. They huddled together for warmth, sharing what little they had and supporting each other through the toughest of times. The ancient castle stood on a hill, a silent sentinel overlooking the frozen landscape. Its stone walls were covered in frost and its towers reached up towards the grey, overcast sky. The castle had seen better days, but it remained a symbol of hope and resilience for the people of Asmar. It overlooked the frozen lake, a vast expanse of ice that stretched out as far as the eye could see. The lake, once a place of beauty and life, was now a desolate, icy wasteland. But even in its frozen state it held a certain kind of beauty, a reminder of the kingdom's enduring spirit. The king, Adalwulf, ruled with a heavy heart. He was a wise and just ruler, but the endless winter weighed heavily on him. He sat on his throne in the cold, empty hall, his thoughts consumed by the plight of his people. He longed to bring warmth and prosperity back to his kingdom, but he felt powerless against the relentless winter. He missed the warmth of the sun, the way it would light up the kingdom and bring life to the fields and forests. He often found himself gazing out at the snowy landscape, longing for the days when the sun would shine again. The cold, grey world outside was a constant reminder of the kingdom's suffering. He yearned for the laughter of children playing in the fields, their joyful voices echoing through the air. The playgrounds, once filled with the sounds of happy children, were now empty and silent, covered in a thick layer of snow. The sight of the deserted playgrounds filled the king with a deep sense of sorrow. Life in Asmar was harsh, the cold and snow making every day a struggle. The people had to brave the biting winds and blinding snowstorms just to go about their daily lives. But despite the harsh conditions, they remained determined and hopeful, believing that one day the winter would end. But the people were resilient. They helped each other, working together to survive the harsh winter. They shared their resources, supported each other, and found strength in their community. The bonds between them grew stronger, and their sense of unity and solidarity helped them endure the difficult times. They shared their meager food, gathering around fires to keep warm and share what little they had. The warmth of the fire and the company of their fellow villagers provided some comfort in the cold, harsh world. They told stories of the past, reminiscing about the days when the kingdom was warm and prosperous. They told stories of the past, of the days when the kingdom was filled with life and joy. These stories kept their spirits up, reminding them of what they were fighting for. They dreamed of a brighter future, a time when the sun would return and the kingdom would be restored to its former glory. They dreamed of a brighter future, where children could play in the fields once again and the kingdom would be filled with laughter and joy. The people of Asmar held on to this dream, believing that one day their kingdom would be free from the grip of the eternal winter. They looked towards the horizon with hope in their hearts, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Lyra was different. From the moment she was born, everyone could sense it. There was something about her that set her apart from the other children in the village. Born on the coldest night of the year, under a sky filled with shimmering stars, Lyra entered the world with a quiet strength. The villagers whispered that she was a gift from the winter itself, a child destined for something extraordinary. As she grew, it became clear that Lyra was indeed a child of the winter. She loved the snow more than anything else. While other children would shiver and seek warmth, Lyra would be outside, playing joyfully in the snow, her laughter echoing through the frosty air. She reveled in the silence of the frozen forest. The stillness of the snow-covered woods was her sanctuary. She would wander for hours, feeling a deep connection to the icy landscape that surrounded her. The crunch of snow under her boots and the crisp, cold air filled her with a sense of peace. One day, while exploring deeper into the forest than she ever had before, Lyra discovered something magical. It was a day like any other, with the sun casting a pale glow over the snow. But what she found changed everything. Deep in the forest, hidden by ice and snow, was a single, blooming flower. It was unlike anything she had ever seen. The flower stood out against the stark white of the snow, its petals vibrant and full of life. It pulsed with a warm light, a gentle glow that seemed to breathe warmth into the cold air around it. Lyra was mesmerized. She reached out to touch it, feeling a strange warmth spread through her fingers. This was no ordinary flower. This was a sign, a symbol of something greater. Lyra felt it in her bones. The flower's glow seemed to resonate with her, as if it was speaking to her in a language only she could understand. Lyra felt a connection to the flower, a bond that was both mysterious and profound. She knelt beside it, gazing at its glowing petals, feeling a sense of wonder and awe. It was as if the flower was a part of her, a piece of her own soul. It was a connection she didn't understand, but she knew it was important. The flower's presence filled her with questions. Why was it here? What did it mean? She felt a deep urge to protect it, to keep it safe from harm, but she knew it was important. With a newfound determination, Lyra vowed to protect the flower. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew that this flower was a part of her destiny. She would guard it with her life, ensuring that its light would never fade. She vowed to protect it. And so, Lyra of the winter, the girl born on the coldest night of the year, became the guardian of the magical flower, a beacon of warmth and light in the heart of the frozen forest. An old woman, Ilara, lived in a small cottage nestled deep within the snow-covered forest. Her home, though modest, exuded a warmth that contrasted sharply with the harsh winter outside. The villagers often spoke of her with a mix of reverence and curiosity, for Ilara was no ordinary woman. She was known for her wisdom, a beacon of knowledge in a world often shrouded in mystery. Her eyes, though aged, sparkled with the light of countless stories and secrets. Many sought her counsel, hoping to glean some of the ancient wisdom she possessed. Ilara was the keeper of ancient tales, a guardian of the lore that had been passed down through generations. Her small library was filled with scrolls and books, each one a treasure trove of forgotten knowledge. She spent her days reading and rereading these texts, ensuring that the old stories were never lost. One cold evening, she called upon Lyra, a young woman from the village. With a voice that seemed to carry the weight of centuries, Ilara began to tell her about the prophecy. It was a tale that had been whispered through the ages, a story of hope and destiny. "A child of the winter," Ilara said, her voice barely more than a whisper, "will find the heart of winter. This child will possess the power to break the ancient curse that has plagued our land for centuries." The words hung in the air, heavy with significance. Lyra listened intently, her heart pounding in her chest. Could it be true? Could she be the one destined to fulfill this ancient prophecy? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. She had always felt a connection to the winter, but this was something far beyond her wildest dreams. As the days passed, Lyra found herself pondering Ilara's words more and more. She would often stand in the snowy fields, gazing out at the vast white expanse, wondering if her destiny truly lay hidden within the winter's embrace. The prophecy had ignited a spark within her, a sense of purpose she had never felt before. One evening, as the snow fell softly outside, a stranger arrived at Ilara's cottage. His name was Orin, a warrior known for his bravery and strength. He had traveled far, driven by the whispers of the prophecy that had reached even the most distant lands. Orin had heard the prophecy and believed in its truth. He had come to find the one who was destined to break the curse. As he listened to Ilara recount the ancient tale, his determination grew. He knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but he was ready to face it. When Orin met Lyra, he saw the spark of destiny in her eyes. He believed, without a doubt, that she was the chosen one. Lyra, though surprised by the warrior's confidence, felt a sense of reassurance. Together, they would embark on a journey to find the heart of winter and break the ancient curse that had bound their land for so long. Orin explained the prophecy. A dark sorceress, Isolde, had cursed Asmar. She was jealous of the kingdom's beauty. She had stolen the Heart of Winter. The Heart of Winter is a powerful artifact, Orin said. It controls the seasons. We must find it. Lyra knew what she had to do. She would find the Heart of Winter. She would save her kingdom. Lyra and Orin began their journey. They traveled for days. They crossed frozen rivers. They climbed treacherous mountains. They faced howling blizzards. Lyra's connection to the winter grew stronger. She could feel the snow. She could speak to the wind. She discovered her powers. Finally, they reached Isolde's peak. It was a towering mountain. It was shrouded in darkness. This was Isolde's domain. Section 6. The Dark Sorceress. Isolde was waiting. She was a fearsome sight. She was cloaked in shadows. Her eyes burned with icy fire. "You cannot defeat me," Isolde hissed. Lyra stood tall. "You will break the curse," she demanded. "You will give back the Heart of Winter." A fierce battle began. Ice shards flew. Wind howled. Lyra fought with the fury of a blizzard. Section 7. The Thaw. Lyra reached deep inside. She found her strength. She used her powers to trap Isolde. The sorceress screamed in fury. With Isolde defeated, Lyra took the Heart of Winter. It pulsed with warmth in her hands. She felt a surge of hope. As Lyra placed the Heart of Winter back in its rightful place, the ice began to melt. The snowdrifts retreated. The air grew warmer. Section 8. Spring's Embrace. Color returned to Asmar. Flowers bloomed. Birds sang. The kingdom awakened from its frozen slumber. The people rejoiced. Lyra felt the warmth on her face. It felt like a mother's touch. She had saved her kingdom. She had brought back the spring. King Adelwulf embraced Lyra. His eyes were filled with tears of joy. "You are a true hero," he said. "You are the hope of Asmar." Section 9. A new beginning. Life in Asmar blossomed. Children laughed. Farmers tended their fields. The memory of the eternal winter faded. Lyra became a symbol of hope. She had shown them the power of courage. She had taught them the importance of believing. The eternal winter was over. A new season had begun. A season of warmth, a season of growth, a season of hope.